Hello, folks. Welcome to the Captain's Academy, where today we'll be going over your newly acquired Phoenix Star Works Hannibal patrol vessel. The Hannibal is a small vessel, air quotes, that is intended and designed to bridge the gap of somewhere between a SV and a CV in function and capacity. Uh, Spawning in with a paltry six guns. It's four miniguns, two lasers. It will be able to place eventually 12 to 14 guns that's mounted weapons. And in addition to that, it can place up to 24 turrets. So before we get started on that, let's take a look at how we're going to change our color configuration, since that's probably going to be one of the most popular topics here. Hannibal will be coming with 9 different color configurations. So we'll be storing 4 of them here in the crew quarters for ease of access. The additional ones you're going to have to dig up off of the workshop. I'll have all of the colors placed there, so in case you want to remove some of this LCD clutter, place other things, or go back and get a color that you overwrote somehow, that will be available for you in the workshop. Alright, so essentially what you want to do is just take this numerical value here. You're going to copy that, Control C. Then you want to zoom out. Go ahead and open up your configure option at the top left, and then down here at the bottom right, you're going to hold down Shift and left click. Then you're going to do paste. And then you hit OK. Congratulations, you've changed the color. So, various other colors here. We have ultramarine and charcoal. We have black and gray. Stock crimson and purple. I'm sorry, stock crimson and charcoal, and purple and charcoal. So let's go back to this color here. Alright, easy peasy. Okay, moving on. So let's have a look at our weapon mount. So Hannibal is intended more along the lines of a gunship. It's not the most numerous with the mounted weapons. It's adequate. But if your type of playstyle is just to stack up a bunch of turrets and sit over a POI or a CV, you'll be right at home with this. So what we're going to be looking for here is taking out the antennas. If I can actually hit it. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be your breakpoint there. Just don't go past the X. Alright, easy enough, right? Remember, you have your 2 mounts here if you want to replace those. And if you want to consume this placement here, these blocks, you can do that. Go ahead and get a standard block in. Be easier to see. So you're just going to take out these double thin blocks. Get these guys here, these half blocks. Okay, now your gun lane is freed up. Oh, got that guy there. Okay, now your gun lane's freed up, so you want to get rid of this block here too. And that's going to be your breakpoint again with the X. There you go. That'll be all of your weapon mounts. There is some other, I guess you could take these thins out here if you want additional weapon mounts. That could be 14. Maybe even you want to take out some of these. It's right there, the colors are so dark. Yeah, so maybe you want to take these out if you want additional ones. That's an option, but keep in mind it's going to open up connections to the thrusters there, which might be okay. You might be okay with that. But so one of the, I guess we'll say, characteristics of the ship is that predominantly the strafing thrust is located at the nose, so be mindful of that. Other than that, this is your only other strafe. That's intended if you somehow lose this front section, you'll be able to bring your ship to a stop, albeit it'll be very slow. Okay, so speaking of thrust, let's have a look. So we can place up to 16 additional of these medium jet thrusters. And what we're going to be looking for here is the deco there. Just remove this block and, yeah, like, same thing. Don't go past the X. That's your breakpoint. Right, so you just continue that process, seeking out these. I guess the only thing that you should be careful about, be mindful about this here, because this thruster shares a lane with the back rear thrust, so take these blocks out here, then you're good. Yep, there's that. So I'd recommend placing that one first. Actually, you know what? That's not my bad. This is the one that's shared. Not like I made this ship or anything. Okay, so yeah, you would want to place this one first, so that way it becomes clear what the other placement is for the rear thruster. This guy right here. Oops. Pretend that's still there. Alright, there we go. Okay. There it is. Cool deal. So, yeah, just continue placing. Again, you got 16 of these. Now you do also have 6 additional large thruster mounts, the 3x1s. So you're gonna seek these out, and hey, look at that missing texture color. Okay, there you go. Just punch through. All right, there it is. So this is these are break walls here designed to stop a chain reaction. But if you want to get greedy, you could take these out as well and place those. I guess here as well, you could do that with these. So if you're really jonesing for some additional thrust and you're confident in your ability to manage your ship, then that'll always be available to you if you want to go that route. All right, so let's take a look at the turret placements here. So 24. So what I have it marked off with these little cabinet textures. So obviously that's not going to work, but just seek out the cabinet textures with a radius. Man, it should be pretty clear. Right? Same thing here. Simple enough, right? Okay, then for the wing mounts, we have 2. Now, your bottom is going to be most prolific. It's one of the strong points of the build is that it's good at harassing POIs, just sitting over it bombarding. Okay, so that should account for all of them. You could probably do some work here if you don't want to convert this to a gun lane. You could, take these thin blocks out and squeeze in a couple more turrets if that's the route you want to go. Let's make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, that's it. So, pretty respectable forward firepower suite. And then also you have a good bombardment suite as well. One of the stronger profiles of the ship. Alright, so let's have a look at the inside, shall we? So we are featuring a drone hatch here. In order to spawn that, you can stand under the deck right here. right? So this is one option, or just come up to this door here. These things are always finicky trying to spawn a drone in. Right, so we have expansion here. This is going to be for both your trauma station and your food processor for Reforged Eden players. So we would just take these 2 blocks out on either side here. Of course, you want to remove the LCD. Okay. So now you can go ahead and slot in your food processor and, of course, your trauma station. Okay, snug as a bug. Right. So now we have our production room. It's designed to house 2 constructors. So if we want our second one, we just go ahead and pull that out. There we go, that's 2. Now there is another option. If for whatever reason you still need more generators, these could be pulled out and replaced with generators if you want to do that. The area around it is reinforced. And about those generators, this area here, this is designed to house... You're going to spawn in with 2x1s here, but you can upgrade these. It's enough space there to upgrade to the 3x1s. Okay, that's for either side. This is going to be your primary generator house right here. So, between what you have here on both of these sides, once you upgrade these and do all of your placements here, you should provide enough power to feed the ship with a progenitor shield and 16 shields placed, as well as 24 tier 2 turrets. You should be able to house all of that. Right. So speaking of the shields, this is going to be the, I guess we'll call this engineering. Have your Pentaxa tank here. And now these are your shield houses. You just double up on your shield array placement. Warps, pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so with this, we just remove the cylinder blocks. Alright. Yep, so that's it. Yeah, you would just continue along, filling these up, whatever configuration you want. Okay, so good here. Just a reminder, I had this here. Again, Elion hasn't fixed the issues with the cockpit ejection, so be mindful of the 10% incline rule. So you'd be able to determine that by your HUD. So see, now that's at about 10%. You got a little bit more leeway above that, but just be careful. I'd keep that 10%. Now this is for incline. Now it's more forgiving with like a downward slope. You know, this is okay. Stuff like that at a much more extreme angle, it's going to be giving you more allowance to that. But generally the big issue is the inclines. So unfortunately, really aggravating. Okay, so let's look at this. Going back to the colors, if you want to change interior colors, they're mapped to the 2 grays on the right, so that's going to be these guys here, right? So if you wanted to change the interior, let's say, you know, you wanted some red, okay, so then we would just, you know, paste like that. And then this is the other color here if you want to swap that out. Right? Easy enough. So now you can match the outside. I didn't want to have interior matching exterior. I wanted to have that as an option because my preference is to have lighter tones on the interior to make the most out of the light textures. Okay, so that's one half of this ship. The other feature of it is that it's something of a carrier. Now, the thing I have in mind when I was making this ship is for servers that can accommodate the SVs warping out of the solar system. For those that don't have access to a progenitor warp right away. So server in mind is Anvil here. But yeah, let me show you this. So Hannibal is a intended successor or upgrade path to the Sarissa. So just for a scale comparison, I'm going to show you what we're looking at here. These are both SVs. Okay. But going back to this, one of the features of the ship is that it has a number of attachable pods. Now, these pods will help fill out a mission role that may be lacking due to it being an SV. So SVs don't have, for example, they can't respawn. You can't place a respawn chamber. So what we have here is an HV that is a medical pod, and these variety of pods will attach to the bottom of the wings. Okay. So yeah, easy peasy. The pods will also match color with the ship, so it's the same color palette. So whatever you got going on with the ship color, you can also transfer that to the pods as well. So this would be a medical pod, probably essentially necessary if you're going to try to do like a long-range SV playthrough or whatever. I'm not going to use a base or CV if you're crazy enough. That's an option, so you'll have a respawn. Keep in mind you have to detach this. The power on-off is not an issue. It has to be detached, though, in order to be able to register the respawn. So in addition to that, we also have this is a cargo pod. It's not significant, but it gives a little something. It'd be good for hauling a little bit of loot back and forth if you're not in range of your ship. And then we have a little combat pod. Now you could potentially fit this into some POIs. This is a 3x2. So this would fit through doorways once you blow a door up. Don't have a shield or anything attached to it. I didn't stretch it out for that, but most of the armor's on the front. We're looking at 2,000 ammo. That's a thing. Right, and then after that we have the refrigerator. So this is a freezer pod. This is something you can attach to the ship if you're big into collecting herbs and all that stuff. You want to farms and stuff. So we've got 10 fridges here in addition to a bunch of fuel tanks to where we can keep this thing going if you want to transfer your food off of the ship onto this. If you log off, you can keep this thing on and turn your ship off. And this will keep all of your food refrigerated for quite a while. I think it's got 70 hours. Yeah, 71 hours right now, 71 hours of power. So should be sufficient enough to keep your food chilled while you're doing your business at work, or you got something else going on while you're away from the game. Yeah, that's it. Hannibal, the patrol vessel. Not as maneuverable as like a fighter SV. This is intended to be something closer to like a CV. So the characteristics of the ship, you're going to be able to dictate that though. So if you're not loading it down with tier 2 turrets and a bunch of other heavy pieces of equipment, and if you focus on thrusters and then just mounted weapons, then it'll be a lot more agile. But again, if you're coating this thing with all the weaponry, it's going to be sluggish, but it's going to be belligerent too. You'll be able to put out a lot of firepower. All the compartments are armored in hardened steel, reinforced in hardened steel. There's a couple of break walls going through the various layers. We've got one here. Yep. A couple layers. I'm not going to run through all that technical nerd stuff. But yeah, that's it. It should be a pretty versatile platform, and not only your modability, your upgrades, but also color, the attachable pods to increase your mission profile. Um, yeah, a platform that you'll be able to put all the progenitor stuff and all the shield upgrades and stuff and be able to run that. So, yeah, there it is. Hannibal, the patrol vessel. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode of the Captain's Academy. If you've enjoyed this content or these builds, please make sure to like and subscribe. In addition to that, in the pinned comment below is a link to my Patreon page where patrons get exclusive access to insider information as well as exclusive builds, and it's now easier than ever before to get into the Patreon page. So look forward to that. Speaking of which, I'd like to thank my Patreon members as well as Twitch subscribers. Thank y'all for everything you do for me. Till next time, folks. I'll catch you later. LyfeForce out.